Hey there, and we're live. So, what are we doing here tonight? Well, I think it's pretty simple. We're taking a break from the movie tour, library tour that we've been doing over the last few days, which will restart again probably either tomorrow or Saturday. But tonight, because I found it, the Vinegar Syndrome is, they're having their halfway to Black Friday sale, and Severin Films actually is also having a very, very similar halfway to Black Friday sale. Now, Severin, about a year or two ago, they started doing these Black Friday sales, and it was done much in a similar way to Vinegar Syndrome is done. Some people would think of them as, as competing sales, but Vinegar Syndrome and Severin actually have a very friendly relationship. So I think more than likely it was kind of like, go ahead, have fun with it, and they're both, because let's be honest, we buy from both of these. Now, what I plan to do tonight, hey Tommy Films, is I plan to give you a top 12 Severin films and a top 12 Vinegar Syndrome films. Now, the one thing that I made myself do is I decided, hey Matthew, that for tonight, for I would not pick any Vinegar Syndrome over the last couple months because, to be honest with you, the half price stuff is probably going to be at like February. I think that was said when I was in a recent video. So I'm going to be picking some of the earlier stuff, maybe some different stuff than you think about, or maybe some stuff that would have been forgotten from Vinegar Syndrome. I've got like 12 Severin titles as well. There is 11 Blu-rays and one DVD for each one of these. So I wanted to do that because both Severin and Vinegar Syndrome have some really good DVDs as well. And people, everybody collects Blu-rays now. They kind of forget that there's some good DVDs out there now. I didn't talk much about, and I will mention a couple of the offshoots as well. So that'll be kind of interesting. And I did try to pick things that you can still buy. I'm trying not to choose things that are like out of print. Like it's no good to give you like a top 12 list and then like one or two of these movies, you can't get them. That's like if I was to come on here and say, here, buy Wonder Woman from Vinegar Syndrome. It's out of print. It's just not available anymore. That's not going to help you at all. So everything here, as far as I know, is still in print. And now there may be a couple that have slip covers that don't have slip covers now. That's neither here nor there. The movies themselves will actually be ones that hopefully you'll all enjoy. So I could go back and forth, like one Severin, one Vinegar Syndrome, or I can do Severin and then Vinegar Syndrome, or vice versa. Don't have. Oh, Tommy, then this is a fantastic time if you got the bones coming up there, because from the 24th to the 27th, so basically 8 days from now, both Vinegar Syndrome and Severin are having their big sales, their halfway to Black Friday sales. And well, what that pretty much means, I'm sure I already know what it means, but in case somebody new that doesn't know what that means, it's pretty much everything that's in their catalog. They're all going to be 50% off, and in a lot of cases, that's going to include merchandise as well. So if you're looking at getting like a hoodie or a cap, or for when it comes to Severin, like an enamel pin or something like that, a lot of those may be 50% off as well. Now, I guess a little precursor will go with like both of these companies to kind of give you an idea. Severin does a lot of like kind of a lot of exploitation, and lately a lot of like Italian stuff as well. They're known for their black cases that they've started in the recent last few months, and there's some really kind of cool, kind of cheesy stuff. They do have like an offshoot, like DVD company, which deals with shot on video stuff. That's called Intervision, and they have some actually pretty interesting, really cool titles on the Intervision label, as well as a regular label. Now with Vinegar Syndrome, there is Vinegar Syndrome, and there's a couple offshoots when it comes to Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome got their regular titles, which they have like Blu-ray and DVD titles that they put out. They try to get like Criterion level masters for exploitation films, and sometimes for adult films. Hey Vinny, welcome, dude. No, you didn't actually. I'm going to do a top 12 list for Severin and Vinegar Syndrome, so I'm just giving a kind of a rundown of both companies right now, and like kind of what the offshoots and stuff are. So with Vinegar Syndrome, one of the offshoot kind of sub-labels was something that was called Etiquette Pictures, and that was supposed to be kind of like their weirder, more artsy films. Only 4 Etiquette Pictures titles came out. I think there's only 2 that are still available. They also had kind of like a Vinegar Syndrome, like sexploitation kind of sub label that also ran about 4 titles, and I think only 3 of them are still left available right now. They are limited editions. Both of these companies have like limited editions. Both of them have like limited edition slipcovers. They go in a very different way about them. So without further ado, what I'm going to do now, if you don't have any other questions before I go forward, is I'm going to give you like my top 12 list for each of these. So basically top 11 Blu-rays, top and plus 1 DVD from each company. And also I'll what I'm trying to do is not pick like their newest stuff. So the stuff that I'm going to show you more than likely will be 50% off. Obviously, as much as I love There's Nothing Out There, which I think is a fantastic film from Vinegar Syndrome, that won't be on the list, not because I don't think it's one of their top 10 releases, but because it's probably not going to be 50% off. Now, that being said, it may be a percentage off, and if it's one that you're looking at getting, it's a really good film, that I can tell you. So let's go now, and we'll start into the list. And the reason I did kind of like a smaller list, which I think is a smaller list, the top 10 or top 12, is basically so we can actually talk about these. So if you have any questions about these, please, when I show the movie, if there's anything you want to ask about features, about anything, definitely do so. They're in no particular order. I will do the DVDs first, and then I will do the 11 Blu-rays, and for each company, just to give you an idea. Now, I went back and forth on which one to pick for Severin. One of the highlights for me is Things, which is an Intervision title and a really, really good one. And I do strongly recommend that one. So that's kind of an honorable mention. It didn't make it on the list, but it's definitely an honorable mention. If you love bad movies and you don't have the movie Things in your collection and you're ordering from that Severin sale, make sure that's one that you look at picking up. It is a really, really bad film. I'm not saying it like it's a classic film. It's really extremely bad. It was shot back in around 1988, 1989. It's a Canadian film, extremely bad special effects, pretty much shot in a cabin, but it's something that you have to see. If you've seen movies like Troll 2 and The Room, you have seen nothing yet. You need to see the badness that is Things, and I mean the badness in the most possible, delightful, good way. Anyway, so the number 12, or the only DVD that I'm showing, is this one right here. And I could have went with either one of these, but I chose the volume 2, and this is Video Nasty's Draconian Days. Now, if you know anything about Severin, one thing you're going to know is that they put out a lot of really good documentaries. That's something that they excel at, actually. It's a lot of people think about their Italian stuff and their exploitation stuff, but if you really look at the Severin back catalog, their documentaries are something that are a thing of beauty. They put out some of the best documentaries out there. Video Nasty's either volume is great. Volume 2 I find particularly good. Draconian Days really goes in depth with a lot of the pretty much what was going on during the Video Nasty era in the UK. What's really neat is there are 3 discs on this, and disc 2 and 3 are called the Section 3 list, and those are trailers, 82 trailers to be exact, from disc 2 and 3. Now, that would be, just kind of good enough, but for the trailers, I think on this one, I know on the first one, and I'm pretty sure on this one too, the trailers also have like a oh my God, I'm losing the word here. They have like an introduction to each trailer. So you get the documentary, and the trailer tapes comes across as its own kind of mini documentary for these films. It is incredible, and it is an incredible deal. Definitely one to look at if you're looking into the Severin sale. When it came to Vinegar Syndrome, the thing you should know is there are 2 major offshoots from Vinegar Syndrome when it comes to DVD. There are the Peakoramas, which are usually double features or some triple features, and they're adult titles, and there is a Drive-In Collection. And the Drive-In Collection does have a couple of adult titles on there because Drive-In Collection came out first. Drive-In Collections are usually pretty cheaper. Usually get them from like $8 to $10 during the sale, and each of them have 2 films on them. So I wanted to pick a really good representation of the Drive-In Collection. Do I have any Funko Pops or 80s and that? I got like a ton of like 80s or 90s cartoons. I'll be doing like a video soon. I'm doing like off and on. I'm doing this like kind of like this tour of my library. So my next video, actually, my next library tour, you'll see my entire cartoon collection. And I mean, I got everything from all the, you know, the Disney treasures, tin sets to, you know, like a bunch of Hanna-Barbera, Spider-Man, Dragon Ball Z, Tailspin, some like classic Disney stuff, and a lot of the and the entire Super Friends collection. So I'll definitely, if you're here for my next video, make sure you check that out because I will be going into that. Funkos, I got a couple. So when it comes to the driving classic collection, or the driving collection that I wanted to choose, the one that I wanted to pick, I want to pick one that was going to be, you chose the right time, you asked the right question, was this one right here. Now these are two films by the director Sergio Santiago, and if you know anything about me and you watch my channel, you know that I really like this director. He's really fun. Sergio Santiago, and these are two very different films, but they're very fun films. You're going to enjoy either one of these films when you watch them. First up is the kind of the blaxploitation, like martial arts, ninja, whatever film, Death Force, and then you've got the horror comedy film, and you know, pretty high in the comedy section of it, Vampire Hookers, which actually stars John Carradine as Dracula, but more of a pimp daddy Dracula. Now these here, some of these do have features. These here, this particular one doesn't. It two great, you know, transfers for the films. Basically scanned in 2K from the original 35mm interpositive. You got the theatrical trailer here for Vampire Hookers. I don't know if Death Force ever made it as a theatrical release, but just give you like a kind of a look at what they look like on the inside as well. And it's you know, it's pretty simplistic, as you can see right there. But these are these are budget titles, and they're actually fairly cheap. So that is the one that I chose for DVD for each of those. So hopefully that's a bit of like an idea there. Now you guys are so quiet tonight. I'm guessing some of the usuals aren't here yet. So next up is a Canucksploitation film. This is from Severin Films, and I'm going to be going back and forth for each one of these. And this is one that was available on like multi-packs, like those Mill Creek BFI multi-packs used to come out, but it had a really crappy release. You know, no hyperbole. It was, you know, nigh unwatchable. You could watch it and it was cut and it was like not well done. But Severin did like a great remaster. How do I keep them dust free? I'm not gonna lie. I dust when I can, but it's really hard. I don't keep them as dust free as I should. I do have an allergy, actually, kind of a big allergy to dust. But most people don't know that. Actually, the first person asked that question, which is kind of cool. But I actually have I've got a dust allergy, so I actually do have the dust every once in a while. I can't get I should get it made, but I can't afford that. But I do my best. But basically, just what you would normally think. I got like, you know, thing for dusting, and of course the spray that I use, that I go over it like that, and use a microfiber cloth. So this is Kathy's Curse. This is a really cool Canucksploitation film. If you're here and the word Canucksploitation, you know, not something that you're familiar with, that usually just means an exploitation film, like a horror film, or from Canada. And this one is like definitely a good example of that. Now, Kathy's Curse is actually a pretty cool little film. There's actually two cuts of the film on here. We get the director's cut and the alternate like U.S. release cut that came out originally. The U.S. release cut is probably what you are more used to seeing if you've seen this on on kind of like one of those like multi-packs, like 25 or 50-pack sets. You're getting like an interview with the director here, interview with the actress, and actually with the person that does like the costume design on here as well. You're going to get an audio commentary on the U.S. cut with critic Brian Collins and filmmaker Simon Barrett. And hey, B-Movie Archives and Tyler, how's it going? The stat picks. I thought usually, I mean, like normally when you're talking stat picks, you're usually talking about stuff that aren't Vinegar Syndrome, right? I do sort of remember that I think it was last year, Miami Connection, which was they had on their site at the time, and that's obviously not a Vinegar Syndrome title. I think that was on sale as well. So yeah, I think that you're going to see, like, if, as long as it's not like anything within the last couple months, you pretty much, I say, everything on the site is going to be on sale. So don't quote me on that, but if it goes the way that I kind of remember it, I think the AGFA stuff, stuff like that. So those should be on sale as well. I don't know if they'll be 50% off or not. There may be there may be different pricing, but but just keep an eye out. If I find it for sure, I'll definitely let you know. But yeah, I think they are, because I think whose video did I watch recently? I think it was Moods. Remember Moods? Moods 616. No, he had a Black Friday sale haul, and I know he picked up Miami Connection actually. I gotta open this up because I want to hear what you guys are saying there. I want to see it anyway. You actually in for the full one this time? I'll be honest, this one here, just watch, this is going to go into like a, oh, do I'll be honest, this one here. Oh, look. Just watch, this is going to go into like a, oh, do I'll be honest, this one here. Oh, wow. Okay, now watch this. See that? It's like two. Okay, so watch for a second. So what I got to do is turn this down. That's what I got to do. Okay, here we go. Your date went well. Nice. Do you see a second date coming? Huh? So what we're doing tonight, by the way, guys, just so you know, is Severin Films is having a sale, same as Vinegar Syndrome. They're having a halfway to Black Friday sale. So what I'm doing is the top 12 of each, and I'm not putting in like the new stuff because, nice, congratulations. Let's see, we knew you'd do it. Because the newest stuff, that's not going to be 50% off. So I'm just going to give you things that I think are probably going to be in the 50% off range. I'm going back and forth between Severin and Vinegar Syndrome. And I started off the video, if you want to watch it later on, pretty much talking about the different offshoots that each company puts out. So Kathy's Curse is number 11 right there. And this is no particular order, so it's just... This is a fun one. It also has like introduction to Cinematic Void, screening at American Cinematheque with the critic Brian Collins. That's actually kind of cool. So next up is the first Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray that I'm going to show. And like I said, I want to show some different stuff, some weird stuff that maybe people forgot about, or like it's an early release. Much like people like talk about, like you got to get the telephone book. This is an early one. This is a Ted V. Michaels release actually, and one that I get a lot of enjoyment and a lot of fun out of. And this is a double feature. It is The Doll Squad and Mission Kill Fast. Now, the first time I glanced at this, I thought it was The Doll Squad in Mission Kill Fast. I kind of just glanced at it like cursory, like really quickly. But it's actually a double feature, and it's pretty well done. And it does have like features on here. So we got like a commentary track on The Doll Squad with the director himself, Ted V. Michaels. Really? This is actually a fun film. I think you'll enjoy it. There's a historical video interview with Ted Michaels. Of course, he's passed on now, I think. Video interview with Francine York. Video interview with Ted V. Michaels on Mission Kill Fast, and theatrical trailer for both the films. And of course, if you don't have the film, you probably don't know, but this one actually does, as you can see, this is the Doll Squad cover, but Mission Kill Fast does get its own cover as well. Now, it would be interesting if this was one of the ones that got like a reversible cover. It got a slip cover, because they are going to be putting out some new slip covers, because then you could choose which one that all right, which one that you could watch. Now, in case you're wondering what type of film this is like pretty much it's a bunch of girls that get together to take on some evil guys. It's a pre Charlie's Angels, and I think like guys like Ted V. Michaels, for instance, would say, I'm pretty sure Aaron Spelling watched this when he came up with the idea for Charlie's Angels. It's really cool. It's very fun. They're pretty lighthearted movies, and they run like at a pretty quick pace. One's 91 minutes, one's 96 minutes. So for an action movie of this type, it's definitely hits that sweet spot. You're never going to be bored. It has some kind of cool, kind of a funky soundtrack there as well. And definitely, if you have not checked this one out, it's one of the early releases, so you can bet that this is going to be one of the cheaper ones that you can pick up during the sale. Usually here in Canada, something like this might run like $15, $16 during the sale. In the US, this is probably going to run at like $12, somewhere around there. And for 2 films, that's not a bad deal. Next up is one that came out in October. Well, it really came out in January, but it was supposed to come out in October. And this is one of my all-time favorite. Welcome back, dude. You never missed any films. So this is one of my favorite Severin titles that they ever put out. I think not only is this a really fun film and really well done, but I think absolutely every special feature on this is of utmost superb quality, and that is Skinner. If you do not have, now this slipcover is gone, but it doesn't matter. You're still going to get like an awesomely looking film. And Skinner is a great movie. If you have not seen this film, I definitely recommend it. Now, if you're a gore hound, this is not as gory as you expect it would be, but there is a couple like kind of cool gore sequences in there. If you're not a gore hound, you know you're definitely going to like that fact. But if you are a gore hound, then you're going to get a bit, but you're not going to get anything like over. It's not going to be like crazy maniac levels of gore. However, this is a really good film. It has a great cast. You got Ted Raimi and probably in his best role. You haven't seen it, Bears? This is actually a pretty cool one. In his best role, in my opinion. Ricky Lake does a great job in this. You got to watch it, man. This is really good, especially when you get all through it. And Tracy Lords, she kills it in this film. The features, the special features on here are fantastic. You hear like a lot of different stories here, but like kind of like the director, and there's a big fuss about the director because who was he dating at the time? Well, that would be none other than Heidi Fleiss, who is the Hollywood Madam, and there's a character in this movie named Heidi, and I don't want to tell you anything about the features because the features on this one are just as good as the film itself. Definitely like watch every one of them. Like you see something basically getting like Cutting Skinner interview with editor Jeremy Caston. Hey Jesse. And you would think, well, an interview with an editor, that can't be, that'll be okay. That can't be that good. I'll wait on that. No, don't wait on that, man. This is really good. Because the thing is that the director's got his own agenda that he wants to put aside. Like he wants to portray himself in a certain way. The editor portrays the director of this film in a very different light, and he really does talk about exactly how kind of intimidating the guy can be, because it wasn't only, hey, this is the boyfriend of Heidi Fleiss, the Hollywood Madam, but also, hey, is this like the pimp of Heidi Fleiss? Is he kind of involved in this type of thing? Well, that was never proven or anything like that, but there are some shadiness, the shady aspects to it that you'll find out about in the features. Do you watch movies? You are a movie buff. Yeah. Next up is one that I'm going to pick, and not a lot of people are gonna choose this one, but it's something that I really do like. It's a film that I really enjoy, and I didn't think I was going to. I really didn't. I passed it up many times over the years, and when I finally did get this thing and started watching it, I was really surprised with how much I liked it. Now this is the Vinegar Syndrome one right here, and that is Luther the Geek. This does not look like a movie. Like the cover's not like that I would go out and pick up, and it actually wasn't. This was actually a gift. This was gifted to me. And I'm so glad it was, because it is a fantastic little film. There's the alternate artwork there for the film. This is actually a really cool film. It is exactly what you think would be. Basically, what happens at the beginning of the film is there's this geek, and the town has him like kind of like chained into like into this barn where where they throw him chickens and stuff like that. And there's this this little kid, and he's watching him, and he's fascinated with this geek. And who's this kid? This kid is Luther. So he grows up and he bites, but he doesn't bite chickens. He, you know, but not only chickens. And he goes to jail for that. So basically, this movie takes place when Luther gets out of jail. Rehabilitation, has it worked? Obviously not, or you wouldn't be watching Luther the Geek. It's a really cool film. It's got a great little cast. What really sets us aside, and I've said I don't want to belabor the point too much, is that the actor that plays Luther in the film is incredible in the role. A movie like this can come off extremely silly. You got a guy here that kind of barks, like and he doesn't talk. He makes noises like a chicken. So something like that can come off as really silly and really, really odd. But it doesn't. It comes off really well because he really he goes for it. And when for something like this, for it to work, you got to go for it. If you're a fan of nudity, there's lots of that in here, and it's not just nudity; it's good nudity because it is Stacey Haddock, and she is gorgeous. She's April O'Neil from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. That's where you might know her from. So, Luther the Geek, definitely check this one out. It's a really cool one. And as far as feature-wise, again, we got like a 2K restoration from the original 35mm print of the film. We got a commentary with the director, video interview with Jerome Clark, video interview with Carlton Albright. All the previous Trauma extras that were on here before are on here as well. Like I showed you there, there's a reversible cover, theatrical trailer, lots of great stuff. Easy recommendation from me. Next up is one of my, it's a bit of a slow burn, but I really dig this film. It's kind of Halloween 2 before Halloween 2, so everybody that's seen this film knows what this film is. It's Italian, it stars George Eastman, and it's by Joe D'Amato. And yet it's not as sleazy as the average Joe D'Amato film is, so it has that going for it as well. And that, of course, is the sequel to the kind of spiritual sequel to Anthropophagus, and that is Absurd. I really do like this. Exactly, that's absurd. I really actually do like this release. I like the way that it goes. I know that it does go a bit slow at times, and it's kind of a different film. Now, I think that it still has, the one that you buy, you can still get the original motion picture soundtrack. I love that Severin has been doing this with a lot of their releases. Again, there's some great stuff on there. There's an alternate Italian cut of the film on there with optional English subtitles. There's a Return of the Grim Reaper, a interview with actor, writer, co-producer, I'm going to butcher this name, Luigi Montefiore, D'Amato on video, an archive interview with director Astide, with Joe D'Amato, a biker uncredited. So there's one of the scenes in the film that has the character actually attacked this biker, and the biker is played by Michele Soavi, who directed films like The Church and Stage Fright, and acted in movies like Demons. So he's a director, and he would act like little kind of parts, and sometimes uncredited parts in other people's films. And he is in this one here, Absurd. So you'll actually see him. It's a cool little film. I really enjoy it, and it's weird. It's unusual. It's definitely got a bit. This got a bit of the gore factor. So if you're into the gore stuff, you're going to get that here. There's pretty much at the beginning of the film, you find out that he's kind of like almost an unkillable guy. Yeah, I am actually. Oh, see, that's because B movie. Severin and Vinegar Syndrome are both having a halfway to Black Friday sale. So I'm kind of like doing a guide for both. Hopefully that helps out. But Absurd, definitely one to check out. It has the soundtrack in there. As you can see, this is one of the infamous Severin black cases. I really love the look of the black cases. Next up, Adam, Severin, much like Vinegar Syndrome, have a mix of different things. Like everything that I'm going to show you here in the Severin thing, it's not horror. It's not all going to be horror. I'm super looking forward to these sales. Now, I will be honest, I usually pick one or the other. This time around, it's going to be Vinegar Syndrome. Maybe next time it'll be Severin. So, so everything here isn't going to be in the horror genre. Some, a lot of horror because I do like that stuff. but I will be showing different things. Like, for instance, the first thing that I showed was like a documentary from Severin, which was the Video Nasties one on DVD. It's just to give you an idea. So next up from Vinegar Syndrome is a blaxploitation classic that I do think belongs in everybody's collection, and that is Dolomite. If you have not seen this film, it is a blast. Here is the original, like the new cover art that they put on it, but I did change it around because I like this kind of cool 70s style cover art. See, great minds think alike. I'm kind of thinking of getting the other ones. I don't have like Human Tornado, Peter Wheatstraw, or Disco Godfather, but I kind of want those. So, and of course, you got to have Candy Tangerine Man and Lady Coco. So I may go for like a whole like range of blaxploitation this time. Fingers crossed if I can get the ones that I want to get. This is a great release. There are some great features on here. Again, scanned from the original 2K, from the 35 millimeter into 2K. We got like 2 framing options here. There's a 1.85. There's an alternate like full frame boom mic version is what they call it. There's an iDolomite making of documentary. What's really cool about that is the iDolomite making of thing. That goes all over all 4 of the releases. So this is part 1, then there's part 2, 3, and 4. So if you have all of the Rudy Ray Moore films, then you're going to get like this big Rudy Ray Moore documentary over all 4 of the releases. Really kind of cool doing that. Lady Reed Uncut featurette, basically talking to the actress from there. There's locations then and now. See, Human Tornado, that's a good one. I want to get all of them. I need to get the rest of them. There's a historical commentary of the Rudy Ray Moore's biographer, Mark Jason Murray, the Dolomite trailer, the Human Tornado trailer. It will definitely make you want to get it when you see that. And of course, alternate cover art, as I've already shown you guys. So if you're a blaxploitation fan, definitely, if you don't have this one, this is your start. Get something like this. And you know, there's also some great stuff like the Penitentiary films, which I don't have on my list. I don't own them yet. But good films. I have like the DVDs of them, but I do want to get the Blu-ray upgrades because I got just the Arrow Region 2 DVDs, and they're okay, but no features and pretty. I want the movies. And of course, Welcome Home, Brother Charles MMA is a really good one as well. Next up for Severin is one that is not a horror film, but and you would think it was because the director is Lucio Fulci and he's mostly known for horror films. But this is a very different Lucio Fulci film, and one that I have a really strong like for. I don't think enough people know the film, and that is The Devil's Honey. This is, you know right away, so you know me. Great film. There's like, you know, sexuality, nudity, and all that in here, and there's like sequences that people remember. But it's a film that deals with loss and grief and relationships. So there's a lot going on in this film, a lot more than exactly like Yasuda Western. Like he went in all genres, Adrian. That's the thing. He loved filmmaking, but this one here is really different. He never did anything kind of like this before, and he never did anything like this after. Many people would call this Lucio Fulci's last big film, his last film that would have like a really decent budget. After this, he would kind of go back and doing horror or you know, similar things, but at a much lower budget, so that he really couldn't get like his vision always across like he wanted to. The Devil's Honey is, in my opinion, probably the last time that Lucio Fulci fully got his vision of a film across for audiences and and for himself. I do think this is a great release. It is definitely well done. There's an interview with the actor Brett Halsey, who worked with his with him, and like a few different films. Was Brett Halsey in the Western? I'm kind of wondering now. There's Corinne Clary being interviewed here. There's an interview with the producer Vincenzo Salviani. Interview with composer Claudio Natelli. There's an interview with Stephen Thrower, of course, who did Beyond Terror, that big Lucio Fulci book that I want. And Fulci's Honey. There's an audio essay by Troy Howarth. It's really good. I recommend listening to that. There's an alternate opening for the film and a theatrical trailer. This is a really great release and something that does, I'm not going to lie, belongs in every, like anybody that likes film. This belongs in your in your library. It belongs on your film shelf. Going back to the horror stuff is the next one, and this one is by Vinegar Syndrome. and it is my first Vinegar Syndrome that I ever bought. But I love this film. Yeah, Stephen Thrower will never disappoint. That's for sure. Um, this this is crazy. This is nuts. I'm telling you that right away, so you don't get mad at me if you buy it and you think, "What the hell is up with this film? This film is weird." It is. It's weird, but it's gloriously weird and gloriously fun. And that is Night Train to Terror. So if you've never seen Night Train to Terror, basically it's an anthology film that has like 3 stories in it, and it's got like this kind of framey sequence with God and the devil on a train. I'm not joking. That's there. There is a band that keeps singing the same song over and over again. It will get stuck in your head after a while because it's one of those earworm songs that's kind of catchy. And it has 3 kind of like differently odd stories. 2 of the stories actually have Richard Mall from Night Court in it, and he plays very different roles in each of these. The 3 stories are Harry, which is basically about this guy that gets in a car accident and ends up in this like kind of weird asylum type place where he's mind controlled to bring girls back to the asylum, and where he roofies them, and then they're brought back and they're harvested, and some are assaulted. It's really strange. Next up is Greta, which is an odd little film about this guy that falls in love with this woman that's involved with this richer guy, and there's kind of like a death club. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And the third one is Claire, which is about a young woman basically, and a guy that's it's a Holocaust survivor, and Satan. So what's really neat about this one is this has a really cool feature, and there's an interview with the producer director, interview with the assistant editor, a commentary track by Stereo Continues. They actually do some really super commentary tracks, but definitely the big thing for getting this release is the second like part of this anthology, Greta, which makes very little sense when you watch it as a piece of Night Train to Terror. It makes a hell of a lot of sense because the actual full film of Greta is on here, so you'll get that complete full film, and you'll enjoy that. It's actually it's weird, but it's cool. And the girl that starred in the movie, the girl that plays Greta, this is the only movie that she ever acted in, so it's really cool to have her only film and to have it complete, as opposed to just having the anthology sequence in this film right here. Next up is one that I did have to pick because I think these are super fun and super cool. It does have a soundtrack in it. At least it did when I picked it up, and that is Zombie 4. This after that. So this is a super crazy film. It says Clyde Anderson directed this, but I'm pretty sure that's probably Claudio Fragasso that actually directed this film right here. Fragasso, for people that are uninitiated or don't watch a lot of like Italian films, Fragasso is like he writes a lot of Italian films, and he directs too. He directed like Troll 2, for instance. Don't hold that against him. His movies are usually have kind of like a bleak style ending. They're not this. It's not going to have a happy ending for the main protagonist in the film, in a Claudio Fragasso film. Yep, that was Fragasso who did Troll 2. Obviously, Troll 2 also does not have exactly the happiest ending, if you remember. So this is Zombie 4. I actually do. This is a lot of fun. I do find this one like super cool, and definitely worth checking out. There's actually an adult actor, male adult actor, in this film right here, and it does have the soundtrack. Next up from Vinegar Syndrome is a really cool, quirky one. It has a great cast of like a lot of old school actors, and even as an adult actor in it. That was Zombie 3. And he directed Troll 2 though. He directed the one, the Oh My God. So that's the one. And Jeff Stryker was in Zombie 3. I think there's like there's a soap opera actress in there too, but I can't remember what her name is. Like from not General Hospital, from Young Restless, I think. So this is Evils of the Night. This is really fun, actually. This is a really fun one. This is the infamous Millennium Falcon cover, as you can tell. Very cool one with a great cast. You got John Carradine, who you'd expect in something like this, obviously. But you also got Tina Louise from Gilligan's Island. You've got Julie Newmar in here. You've got Neville Brand. You've got Amber Lynn. And, of course, you also got Aldo Ray from in this movie as well. So if you know Aldo Ray's super, there's also like a lot of features on here as well. We got interview with the director. There's an alternate feature-length TV edit of the film. Yeah, Aldo Ray and Neville Brand, the perfect team. There's the isolated score on here. There's like outtakes, like 25 minutes of outtakes, so not just a couple. There's actually 25 minutes. TV spots. There's a work in progress theatrical trailer. Reversible cover, which I'll show you guys as well. Wait, there's no reversible cover in this one. They said there's a reversible cover. There's not. There is certainly not a reversible. There's like a picture. I actually really like this film, Evils of the Night. My oldest loved the film up until the end because the character that she liked got killed. That's why she was upset. But Evils of the Night, definitely a cool release for Vinegar Syndrome. Definitely one to pick up if you don't have it. This is actually probably going to be one of the cheaper ones. This is not one of the newer ones. I do like the cover, and it is super fun and kind of super cheesy. Next up is Zombie 3. You know I had to put this one in here. I put Zombie 4 in here. Now, Zombie 3 is supposed to be directed by Lucio Fulci. However, Lucio Fulci got sick during Zombie 3, so he actually didn't. Was your favorite too, really? He didn't direct much of the film. That was taken over by Bruno Mattei. Remember Claudio Fragasso, the guy that I just mentioned for directing Zombie 4? Well, he wrote Zombie 3. So you got like three kind of like Italian director legends on one film. You got Fragasso, Mattei, and Fulci. That's pretty good pedigree. This actually is a really fun film. I've actually got two editions of this. This is actually my favorite edition of it, though. Again, this has the limited edition soundtrack CD on here as well. We got like an interview with Claudio Fragasso and co-writer Rosella Drudy. There's an interview with actor and stuntman Massimo Vanni and Ottaviano Del Acqua. I'm totally going to butcher these names, just so you know that ahead of time. You guys know them. You know I'll butcher names. Interview with replacement director Bruno Mattei. Interview with actress Mariana Lowe. Interview with FX artist Franco Di Girolamo, and audio commentary with the stars Darian Serafani and Beatrice Ring. So, a lot of great stuff on Zombie 3. And again, it is one of those sexy looking black covers. Love the ending? Yeah, don't give it away. It's just in case people haven't seen it yet. Next up from Vinegar Syndrome is one that a lot of people don't pick up because they don't realize what it is, or they think it's something completely different than it is. So you know what it's going to be. It is Malibu High. Malibu High looks like you're going to get your typical like Meatballs, Porky style film. This is not at all what this is. This is a very misleading cover. Malibu High is actually kind of a more serious film. It's definitely a very much of a darker film. You get this girl and she's drifting. She's kind of aimless. Like family life isn't going the best. So she pretty much acts out. She tries to seduce a teacher to get like a better grade. This leads into prostitution, which eventually leads into her becoming a hit woman. Like I'm saying, a lot of stuff going on in this film. Very dark film. Recommend checking this out. Definitely. Let me know what you think of B-Movie Archives, because I think this is actually really cool. There are a ton of great features on this one here as well. We get like a newly scanned like 2K restoration from its original 35mm negative there. We got a group commentary track with the producer Lawrence Folds and actress Tammy Taylor. Video interviews with Folds, Taylor, and with actor Garth Pillsbury. Get a more tone-appropriate cover. What's really cool about this, though, one of the coolest things about Malibu High is that once you know, like you're in the in-group, you see this cover, but you know exactly what it is, and you kind of feel kind of like one of the in crowd for knowing that. It's kind of cool. There's a Q&A from the screening at the New Beverly Cinema with producer Lauren, with the same people that I mentioned before, and Alex Mann. There's a Struggle for Israel from 1976 short film that he did. Grandpa and Marika, another short film by the director. Director trailer, still gallery, reversible cover art, a bunch of stuff. So let's see if the reversible cover art is any more appropriate for this more serious film. No, it's basically just like the other cover art. It's just with a more provocative looking pose. So there you go, Malibu High. Fantastic release and something that I do recommend picking up from Vinegar Syndrome. Malibu Beach, yeah. Two very different films. Next up is one that I have to cover because this is the slipcase edition of it, and that is another Joe D'Amato classic. Is this a horror film? I wouldn't say, but some people might. And that is Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals. I just really dig this film. I don't normally like cannibal films. I'm not a big fan of that genre. That's not something that I'm into. But this one I can actually tolerate. Maybe it's because I like the Emmanuel series. Maybe it's because I find Lord Gemser cute. I find the other girl in this extremely cute as well. This is a really good one. Again, you get the soundtrack for Emmanuel and the Cannibal on this release. You get an interview with composer Nico Fidenzo. You get an interview with actress Anna Maria Clementi. You're going to get an interview with the actor Donald O'Brien. They're going to get an interview with actress Monica Sanchi. And you're going to get an audio interview with actress Laura Gemser. Eaten Alive. If you're into these type of like the cannibal films, definitely. I'm like pretty wimpy when it comes to those films. I will turn away in the grosser sequences. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's the truth. But this one here, does deal more with like the erotic side of it, and it does deal with more adventure. So I can actually take this one for what it is. Next up is one that it both has an X-rated and an R-rated cut, and you knew this one was going to be on the list. You know this is one of my all-time favorite Vinegar Syndrome titles that they put out, and that is A Woman's Torment. If you have not seen this film, a lot of people do, right? I just can't get into like I got Cannibal Holocaust in my collection, but I watched the animal cruelty free version because I don't like animal cruelty in films. Even the director said like he probably wouldn't have done it that way if he had it to do over. It just bothers me a bit. A Woman's Torment, definitely recommend this one. This is a great film. From Vinegar Syndrome. Nice. Again, like they said, Roberta Findlay's tribute to Repulsion. It really is. It is an unusual performance, but it's like basically kind of like it's a hypnotic performance. I don't think this girl did anything else aside from Woman's Torment. If she did very, very little, and that's one of the things that makes this performance so good. Is she's such an unusual actress. There's just this oddness about her. You find out from like the features that basically she just walked off set one day with one of the people that was working behind this, working in the crew, and said, let's go, and she did. So they had, for certain sequences, they had to have like Roberta Findlay in a wig. It's a fantastic little film. People, so far, anybody that I watched this with, that I mentioned watching this, they've all said that they've actually really liked it. Hey, Scalder, I saw your tweet. I was actually picking out my 12 at the time that I saw your tweet, which I thought was actually kind of cool. So yeah, this is a kind of a guide. There's great stuff on here. Feature-wise on here, there is a alternate R-rated feature-length version of the film. We've got a commentary track with director Roberta Findlay. Do not mess that up. Mess that. It's really good. I still need Invasion of the Blood Farmers. There's a Q&A with Roberta Findlay from Quad Cinema screening. That's actually excellent as well. There's a Wrath of Woman's Torment interview with actor Michael Gaunt on here. There is reversible cover art. Let me see if it's something that I can show. It is, yeah, actually, it's really, really, really is a beautiful cover, reversible cover art, and it does actually really suit the film. So look at that. That's actually gorgeous cover art. Why don't I have it switched over? I don't know. But definitely, highly recommended. Next up is one, you probably got the second sight edition if you don't already have this movie. But if you don't have any edition of this film, why not? It is one of the best ghost stories ever made. I stand strongly behind that, and that is The Changeling with George C. Scott. This is the limited edition. I don't know if this is still available, but they will still have The Changeling on their on the website. The only real difference is that this has this has like the soundtrack with it. If you can score it with the soundtrack, get it with the soundtrack, definitely do so, because The Changeling does have an exquisite soundtrack. It is haunting. It is great. It is extremely well done. There's a bunch of really good features on it. We got an audio commentary with the director and the producer of the film. It's moderated by David Gregory from Severin Films. There's The House on Chesmond Park, The Haunting True Story of the Changeling. That's really, really interesting. I'd really recommend checking out that featurette. The music of the Changeling is on our interview with the music arranger. That's actually pretty good as well. Building the House of Horror, interview with the art director, Reuben Fried. The Psychotronic Tourist, The Changeling. Master of Horror, Mick Garris on The Changeling. I actually don't think I've listened to that yet. And poster stills, gallery, radio, and TV spots, and the trailer. So, strongly recommend The Changeling if you don't already have it. Now, I wanted to get a double feature in here, guys. I wanted to get a Vinegar Syndrome double feature. And I wanted it to be a fun one, and a cool one, and a cheesy one, and something that I think a lot of people maybe didn't pick up yet, and that is the David Dakota Linnea Quigley double feature. And I've spoken about it down here before, and that is Murder, Weapon, and Deadly Embrace. Now, these are two little kind of cool little films, very different, very unique, unusual films. You get like a Blu-ray DVD combo pack here, so you're going to get both these on Blu-ray and DVD. Great features on there. Both are restored with 2K restoration from the original camera negative, 16mm camera negative. You get a commentary track on both the films with the director David Dakota and Linnea Quigley, which is actually really cool. You get director introductions for both of the films. You're going to get a video trailer for Murder Weapon, outtakes from Deadly Embrace, and of course what they say is a reversible cover, but really that's not a reversible cover. That is not a reversible cover. But it is a really cool double feature with two super cheesy films. One is kind of a supernatural slasher film. One is more of like a direct kind of like those sexploitation erotic thriller films that came out in the 90s and 2000s, with a cast. I mean, like between these two films, we got people like Linnea Quigley, Laura Wagner, Jan Michael Vincent, Karen Russell, she's gorgeous, Mindy Miller, Jack Carter, Michelle Bauer, Mike Jacobs Jr. A lot of really cool actors you well know on this film. Oh, the sex scenes were definitely neat. I just saw the comment, Jesse. Were definitely needed when it came to A Woman's Torment. A lot of Italian stuff coming out from the Severin one, and this one is more of an action one. I like Nightmare Sisters. I really did. It's fun. It's super cheesy. It's not like a horror film. It's more like a comedic horror style film. You got like 3 scream queens in it. I don't think you can go wrong with that. If you like that style of film, if you watch, like say if you watch Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-orama, type of thing. It's that style thing. Basically, you got these like geeky girls, and they turn into these like kind of vixen-y characters. It's a fun film. I personally enjoyed it myself. If you're not a fan of the Scream Queens, if you don't like Linnea Quigley or like Michelle Bauer or Brink Stevens, then it's not going to be your thing. But if you like that type of stuff, if you like them, if you like kind of like pretty much tongue planted firmly in cheek, cheesy stuff, with like some nudity and that type of thing, then Nightmare Sisters definitely one to pick up. If you like David Dakota, yeah, I personally do. So for me, that's a given. Then you're in. So Shocking Dark is one from Severin Films. This actually is a really great release. It pretty much is Aliens with the Terminator included. I'm not joking. That really is what the film is. This film, like, was called Terminator 2 at one point. But this is a really fun one. Again, it's one of the black cases. I do love those. Just a couple of things on here. There's an interview with the co-director, co-screenwriter Claudio Fragasso. Fragasso getting all over the place, man. And Rosella Drudy. And there is an interview with the actress Greta, who was in like Demons. You know, she's the first one that gets her face scratched and turns into a demon. But she's like the kind of like the Ripley character in this. Very low budget, very fun. It's a fun like action sci-fi type of film, and I think you'll enjoy it. Of course, it's by Bruno Mattei, so it's going to be low budget, and it's Fragasso-ish. So how can you go wrong with that? Next up from Vinegar Syndrome, the one I got has a slipcover. The one that's out there doesn't. That doesn't really matter though, because the only thing you're missing is a slipcover with this one here. And this is a great release. This is a women in prison style film, but with a little bit more action, a little bit more like some quality stuff. Should you watch this? What? Should you watch which one are the Dog Squad? Shocking Dark or the Dog Squad? Very different films, man. Depends on what you're in the mood for. If you're in the mood for like cheesy Italian stuff and watch Shocking Dark, I'd go with the Doll Squad or Mission Kill Fast, one of those two. See which one you like, because Doll Squad, you got like a couple different ones you can go with. There's 2 films there. Especially if you're tired. If you're tired, want to watch something that's gonna kind of lay back. There you go. You've answered your own question. Next up is Sweet Sugar. I do recommend this one. This is a really cool one. This has Phyllis Davis on here. Really, really good release if you haven't picked it up yet. There's an interview with the screenwriter Donald Spencer on here. That's pretty much all when it comes to feature-wise. But this is a really, really cool release. This is the cover you're going to get. It is a gorgeous, as you can see, it's a gorgeous looking cover. There is an alternate artwork. So this is, you can put the new artwork on there, or you can put this one here. I think this is a really cool cover. I do keep this one on here as well. It's got a great cast. The girls in the film work really well together. That's the key to like a good like one of these exploitation type, like women in prison, women in peril type of films. The casts of characters, they got to work well together. There's got to be a good dynamic there. This does have a really, really good dynamic. So strongly recommend this film. Definitely high on the list of movies that I think everybody should have from Vinegar Syndrome. It's a great release, and if you like this style of film, you cannot go wrong with this. There's a fantastic cast here. It is super cheesy. This is directed by the guy that directed Werewolves on Wheels. So how can you go wrong with that, man? I actually really dig this art here. I know it's kind of like old school, but I do like the old school style. Next up from Severin Films, and this is not a horror one, so there we go, is a great documentary. If you do not have this, it's definitely high on the list of ones to grab. And that is and it's a long documentary. It's 136 minutes long. It's kind of like watching one of my videos, right? And that's Sexploitation. Now this is done by Frank Henenlotter, who of course who did a ton of really cool films like Basket Case and Frankenhooker and stuff like this. Now that's Sexploitation. It deals with the lighter, like the aspect. This is not dealing with porn. It is dealing with kind of like the lighter stuff, like the loops and the nudie cuties and kind of the things like where people were trying to get around to get nudity actually in films at a time when they really couldn't. It actually stops right at the time when like kind of pornography is introduced. That's when this documentary kind of says, okay, we got to that point. This is a great documentary. Adrian there vouched for it. It's got over 3.5 hours of like sexploitation shorts and stuff from Something Weird Archives. Definitely worth checking into. There's an audio commentary which is really good. It's pretty much a history of nudity in films, like in earlier films. This is a fantastic documentary. This is the last thing I think that was done from David F. Friedman. Friedman is kind of producer. He worked a lot with Hersher Gordon Lewis. He did a lot of these kind of films on his own as well. Definitely recommend this. The commentary is really good as well. The commentary's got like Frank Henenlotter, and from Something Weird, it's got Lisa Petrucci as well. Definitely worth checking out. That's actually a cool double feature. Next up is one that I did talk about, like in length on Just to This podcast, which hopefully you guys are still listening to, and that is Incubus. If you do not have it, I just all I got to say at this point is this is one that if you don't, get it, it's really really good. I really love this film. I think for me it outdoes it outdoes the book. Did you like it, Adrian? This is actually a really cool release. So this is like, again, this is a 4K restoration from the 35 millimeter negative. We get like an interview with the director on here, interview with actress Carrie Keane. Don't read the name of the interview, it'll give everything away. Capturing the Incubus interview with the director of photography. A commentary track for The Stair Continues. That's a really good commentary track, by the way. There's trims, alternate shots, original theatrical trailers, multiple TV spots, roastable cover artwork. And so you get like this artwork right here. And because, I think the slipcover's gone. Doesn't matter, guys. I mean, for stuff like this, you want to get the good film, and I want to get a film. And this is the original, like, I know it seems pretty basic, but, it's good to have them both there. The Ultimate Power of Evil. This is a really well done film, by the way. Do not pass it up. And somebody's saying, like, you want to watch somebody that doesn't normally like horror, maybe they're like a really big Criterion fan, and they're into the more highbrow movies, and you kind of want to get them to watch something horror. You say, hey, let's watch a John Cassavetes movies tonight, and they'll be like, yeah, that's good. We can watch a John Cassavetes movie, and while they're thinking you're going to put on like something from the Cassavetes like Criterion set or something like that, you shove an Incubus, and they can't say no because they've already said yes to the Cassavetes film. You got them. They're watching horror. So, last but not least, from the Severin film collection, this is Lost Soul. This is an amazing documentary. It is the story of Richard Stanley trying to get The Island of Dr. Moreau made with everything going against them. How frustrated, how fed up, how out of it does Richard Stanley get? Exactly. Well, at one point, he tries witchcraft. He tries voodoo to get this film made. The story behind this, it is insane. This is the 3-disc House of Pain edition. If you can get this edition, I do recommend. Yes, and it creeped the hell out of me, Rich. It creeped the hell out of me. This has the documentary Blu-ray on here. It has a second disc called the H.G. Wells Files. And the third disc is Richard Stanley Reads The Island of Dr. Moreau, an audiobook on here as well. Very cool. So the first disc, you're going to get like interviews with Richard Stanley, with a ton of people actually. You're going to get a commentary, you're going to get archive stuff, audio interviews, featurettes. On the second one, you're going to get a 1921 thought lost version of Island of Dr. Moreau on here, a German version of the film. You're going to get like H.G. Wells on the film with expert Richard Stanley talking about H.G. Wells. This is a great documentary. It's a great release. You owe it to yourself to get this in your collection. It is not a one-watch type of thing. You're going to watch this over and over again. It's got super crazy stuff in it. I am not joking. And I wanted to go out on a super cheesy, super fun film that's super weird, but it pretty much epitomizes Vinegar Syndrome for a lot of people. They do have some great documentaries. See, that's the thing. The new Dark Shadows one looks to be really good too. I got to get that one down the road. I'm a huge Dark Shadows fan, as you guys know. I've got the bootleg edition of Dark Shadows. I thought I was getting the real one, but I got the bootleg one. Luckily, I got a quality bootleg one because I'd heard that some of them basically had some like issues with like the playback and stuff like that. I went through every disc on mine to make sure that it worked good. Thankfully, fingers crossed, it did, and I was able to watch the Dark Shadows set. But there were some like got ripped off a bit there. But I did get it for a good price, so I probably got it for bootleg price. So but I thought it was the original one. I was like, yes, this is so cool. I'm getting this one. But yeah, I would definitely get this documentary. Anyway, there we go. A little bit of turn. Demon Wind. I had to go with Demon Wind. Now, the lenticular cover of this one, unfortunately, is gone, but doesn't mean that you should not get this incredibly fun, cheesy, low budget, Evil Dead kind of knockout film. No, it definitely doesn't. This is really cool. There, all the special features are there. You're still going to get the video interview with the producer Sandy Horowitz, the video interview with actress Sherry Lee, the video interview with the cinematographer Thomas Calloway, audio interview with Christopher Roth, the editor, theatrical trailers, still gallery, and you're still going to have reversible cover art. So you got this, the creature like that, and you got the creature just outside the window, which really, this really isn't the greatest representation of the film. It's a super fun, super cheesy film. Extremely low budget, but something that I really, really enjoyed. And there you go. That is 12 Severin films, 12 Vinegar Syndrome films. Hopefully, between both of those lists, you found some stuff that you want to pick up from both, for one or both of the companies during the halfway to Black Friday sale. I tried to kind of balance the list out a bit and do a little bit of different stuff, so it wouldn't be all horror, it wouldn't be all like, I wanted to make the list kind of different enough for you to check out. I didn't pick any of the newer stuff because I wanted it to be everything that could be in that 50% off range, and I wanted to have things that were there. Because Demon Wind is such a weird film, man. But I love it. It's such a cool concept. When you get there to that, thanks, Adrian. When they get there to the house, basically, and it's just a shell, a husk, basically it's a door frame, really. But when they walk through the door frame and they're actually in a house, it's a really neat concept. I got to say, I really did enjoy it. I got to try some of my tea here. It's been like 67 minutes. So it's got to be like cooled down by now, right? Super cooled down. Now, are there any more releases that are in my Vinegar Syndrome or my Severin collection that you guys are kind of wondering about, that you have any questions about? Because obviously I've got more Vinegar Syndrome than I got Severin, but if there's any questions, I can ask her any questions you might have on any of those releases. Oh yeah, I got that high on my list, Jesse. I really want that film. It's such an odd premise. Basically, the girl falls in love with the world's greatest obscene phone caller and tries to find out who he is. Telephone book is really different. That's one of their first releases. Now, obviously, if you've been following these companies for a while, you know that both Severin and Vinegar Syndrome have been around for a bit. Now, for Vinegar Syndrome, it's going on, I think, their 6th year. Right now, this is like year number 6. The first Vinegar Syndrome title that was ever released was actually done, I think it was done through like crowdfunding. And it was, God, what was it? The Lost Films of Hirschgore and Lewis, actually. That was the first release that they ever put out. I'm not quite sure what the first Severin release was. I couldn't tell you that. There's a reason my name is Mr. VinSyn on there. And do I have the trailer compilation from Umbrella? I got one trailer compilation from Umbrella. I'm not sure where I got it at right now. No, not from Umbrella. I'm sorry, I don't. I have one from the UK, from like, I'm not sure if it's Oculus or some company like that. But I haven't got any of the Umbrella ones. I wish I did, actually. They look really, really good. I don't own Star Time B-Movie. That is on my list. I know there are movies I'd like to ask you guys about that you guys might have from Vinegar Syndrome that I don't have. I definitely want them. I know that. They're so expensive, though. I've seen them around here. Well, not around here, but I've seen them online. But Star Time is one that I kind of want to get. That's Michael St. Gerard in Star Time, who I think, if it's the same actor I'm thinking of, he acted in Elvis the early years, like the TV series, and he did like an Elvis miniseries as well. He like kind of had like, it was a real, in the day, he was like kind of like a dead ringer for Elvis. So they had him in a couple Elvis like things, that a miniseries and like a Elvis kind of like TV series. I used to watch when I was a kid. but it's got that creepy mask, and it looks so cool, it looks so freaky. Disconnected is one I'm very interested in. I don't know a lot about that one. I haven't seen it, but I do have Massage Parlor Murders. I do think that one is really cool. Uh, that actually be a movie. That's one that you'll see on a lot of people's lists of, like, a kind of top 10 list for movies that you got to have. Can I show you this Massage Parlor Murders? Sure. Uh, Definitely. Aim to please. So let's see. Bring it over here. Is this far enough? So Massage Parlor Murders is one of their early releases. I'm gonna kind of move it over like this. I think I've seen Psychos in Love years ago. I don't own it. I know that it's done by the guy that did Disconnected. I'm really interested in Disconnected over Psychos in Love. Both of them are kind of fun, but I just really want Disconnected. So this is Massage Parlor Murders. This is the front cover here, and on here you got the back of it. It is one that is one of the few Vinegar Syndromes that actually has a booklet with it as well. So there it is, a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Inside of the booklet, you're going to find like a kind of like a shot schedule type of thing. It's actually kind of neat. And you'll see like there's a little booklet in here as well, talking about the film. It's actually a pretty good booklet with, like, a poster from Massage Parlor Murders, what was going on at the time. It's a really cool film. I actually really enjoyed Massage Parlor Murders. It's one that I wasn't sure I was going to enjoy, and I'll be honest with you, when I bought it, I bought it just basically because it was this was before they did like the reversible artwork. I bought it because it was really cheap, because I was filling out like my order. But I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Massage Parlor Murders. Again, it's got like cast-wise, you got like Sandra Peabody here. If I'm reading off here, I'm cheating. From Last House on the Left, you got Chris Jordan here from Deep Throat 2. Brother Theodore is in this one from The Burbs, so and we got George. I always get his name wrong. Dzunza from The Deer Hunter. So pretty good casting. But yeah, definitely, this is going to be one of the cheaper ones, man. So this is one that you're going to get for like a really good price. This one you're going to be able to pick up like no problem. I got that one too. I'm going to bring you over. So Death Machine looks awesome. This is Death Machine. This is an action film. It is not a science fiction film like it tries to make you think in the trailer. This is an action film. It's a really fun action film. It's kind of weird, but I definitely recommend it. This is the alternate artwork right here. So you can see it's kind of fun and super cheesy. This is actually probably more representative of the film. Now again, this one has some features on here as well. You got this is a 4K scan of Death Machine, so you know you're going to get a good release here. You got a commentary track with the director introduction. You get a video interview with Michael Chang, the Asian Death Machine. You get an audio interview with Joshua Johnson, the Black Death Machine. And there's trims, outtakes, original theatrical trailers, teaser trailer, reversible cover artwork. And yes, it does have English subtitles here as well. So that's great if you're hard of hearing. This is a fun movie. We really did enjoy this when we watched it. Yeah, this is actually one of the older ones. I'd say this one is probably going to be like cheaper to get than, say, some of the newer stuff that's out there. So this probably is around like the Death Row Game Show like era of Vinegar Syndrome. So Death Row Game Show, Hobgoblins, by Rick Sloan, stuff like that. And in case you were like wondering, this is Hobgoblins by Rick Sloan. So Rick Sloan, the other Rick Sloan like one that Vinegar Syndrome did is a more recent one. It's Blood Theater and the Visitants. It's actually one that I do have earmarked to pick up for the sale because I don't have that. I've got like a DVD of Blood Theater. It's not the best, so I do want to upgrade that. But this is Hobgoblins. This is the highest budgeted Rick Sloan movie that you're going to find out there. Again, this has a bunch of stuff on here, including a really good like brand new interview with Kenneth J. Hall, and a kind of like a making of featurette of the disaster piece, as they call it. Just a super cool, super cheesy, fun movie. If you like the Mystery Science Theater stuff, you're probably going to really enjoy Hobgoblins. If you did not like Hobgoblins, you're probably not going to like Blood Theater or The Visitants, because those are lower budgeted than this movie right here. Though Blood Theater does have the extra oomph of having Mary Warnoff in there, and Warnoff is actually really, really good when it comes to that type of stuff. I know, no problem, dude. This is your guy. So, anytime you guys have questions about any of this stuff, especially where I do tend to order and get a lot of Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and I watch Vinegar Syndrome stuff, where some of the stuff I got a watch pile where I usually watch through the Vinegar Syndrome stuff like fairly quickly, and some of them obviously because I do like I've done a couple podcasts talking about Vinegar Syndrome. Some films I've had to watch obviously multiple times. Some I just watch multiple times just for fun. But Vinegar Syndrome is kind of like they get me. If this was like one of those high school teen movies, and I was like a Ducky character or somebody like that geeky guy that kind of that comes into the room and he looks across the room and all of a sudden like he hits there's like contact made, there's like eye contact made with the with this girl, and this is going to be the girl for this guy type of thing. I'd be like eyeing Vinegar Syndrome. That would be that'll be, oh look, it's meant to be. That type of thing. There. That's a weird analogy, but it kind of works. We'll go with that. For some, I got to check here now. For some reason, their comments weren't coming up there for a bit, actually. That's why I got it open up here as well. If I can make somebody a bigger fan of Vinegar Syndrome and like actually to get the films and they like them type of thing, that makes me happy. It'd make me happier if I actually had like some connection with Vinegar Syndrome aside from the fact that I just really like their films. I like the stuff they put out. It's never awkward to say hi, Dylan. Not at all. Do I own Nightmare Weekend? Oh, Dylan, yeah, you definitely got to rewatch tonight because we got like the 12 Vinegar Syndromes and the 12 Severin films. Do I have Death Weekend? Oh, yes, I do, and that is a really cool film. We're going to talk about Death Weekend. I always make, that's way too close for me. I always want to talk about Death Weekend. See, Death Weekend is a favorite of mine. It is crazy. Now, let's find it here for you. Alrighty. Make a light on me now. Oh, Death Weekend. I don't have Death Weekend. I got Nightmare Weekend. Do you mean Nightmare Weekend? You mean this one? This one right here? One of the best looking covers that you're ever going to see. This is hands down one of the best looking covers put out. When this came out on VHS, this was one of those movies that I kept wanting to get, I kept wanting to rent. Unfortunately, it was always rented out. Little did I know how crazy this film was going to be. Now, you may think if you've never seen this film, you may think you know what this film is going to be about. You may think you got an idea. You probably don't, and that's because this film at times does not know what this film is about. It has a pretty big star in here. We get Dale Metcalf, of course, from like Pet Sematary, as one of the lead actors in this. But it is a bit of a crazy film. There is the like random like weird sex sequences, including one with Dale Metcalf. There is a roller skating girl. I find this one really fun. It is weird. It is super weird, but Nightmare Weekend, strongly recommend. Look how gorgeous that cover is. That is a gorgeous cover. Now, this one does have like an alternate artwork, so I'll show you that as well. I call this my Elvira artwork because it does look kind of like Elvira right there. But again, it is a really cool release. If you don't have it yet, definitely recommend it. Here's a better look at the artwork. Doesn't that give you an Elvira feel? It does give me an Elvira feel. Maybe it's just me. As you can see, it is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, and as many of these releases are, because there are very few that aren't, this is a region-free release. Awesome release. It is now not one to watch around like parents or kiddies or anything like that. There is like some pretty. This is not like an X-rated film or anything, but there is some pretty big like nude sequences in it. I think I turned this one on once when I'm not sure if it was like some when my kids were around, but there was like a sequence in a car, and I turned it off. Yes, this is not The Long Weekend. This is not that type of film. This is actually a pretty good one. A couple others that I would definitely recommend, kind of the older types. On the DVD side of it, Runaway Nightmare. That's directed by Mike Cartel, and this is of course super crazy, but a very fun release. Unfortunately, the Blu-ray of this one is long out of print. You can only get the DVD, so you can get the DVD of that one. I only got the DVD of that one. As far as like the older releases go, you know, that is still the best stuff. I will still always pimp out stuff like Primeval, The Lurkers. This is Roberto Finley double feature, which I find really fun. Get Woman's Torment first. I don't have Graduation Day. I got it from 88 Films on their Slasher Classics collection. However, I do have Christmas Evil. This is a really cool release. There's a lot of good stuff on this one. There is like a 4K restoration of the film. There's 2 commentaries on here with the director. There's another commentary with filmmaker John Waters. I'm sure Stephanie Crawford is a huge fan of this one. It's got like John Waters doing a commentary, and John Waters is a huge fan. And anybody that knows Stephanie or listened to her or read any of her or writing knows that she's a huge John Waters fan. John Waters likes this movie so much, he actually did a commentary for it. There's archival interviews on here, original theatrical trailer, deleted scenes. The actor screen tests are on this one here. Vintage storyboards, storyboards gallery, vintage like test screening comment cards. There's kind of a little Easter egg on here that back in the day was used to give you like a little so much percentage off of a Vinegar Syndrome film. It's still kind of fun, even if you can't use it now, to actually find that. But you gotta be eagle-eyed, and you got to go through this here, but you will find a kind of an Easter egg for like a little bit off. Hey, Trini, you're coming in near the end, but still you're in here. You know, I kind of like being back this far. Like you get to see a little bit more, and I get to stand up. My hyperness can get through. I'm not sure if this is going to be in the sale or not, like in the 50% off, but this was a really good film. It's The Killing Kind. I think it should be. I think this was last like October, November. I really did like this film. It's not like a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. It's a slower burn. It's nothing like, you're not going to see like a bunch of nudity in it. It's not going to be overtly like bloody and stuff like that. But it's just one that I did enjoy. But there you go, guys. That is my Severin Vinegar Syndrome sale release. What other Severin stuff do I have that that you might find fun if you're a trailer tape person? Maybe you like Kung Fu, Trailers of Fury. I really enjoyed that. I always enjoy when you ask, man. That always, for me, that adds something more to the video. I can come on and I can like pick out stuff, or I can just like plan something. But when you ask questions, when you ask to see something, that helped. That's honestly, that's what helped really make the videos come alive, because then we're off to check something out. We're doing, I can be a little bit more proactive, and it's not just me staring at a screen and just talking for like an hour. So I prefer not to do that. I prefer for questions to be asked and things to be seen. It's a lot more fun that way. If you're a Barbara Steele fan and you don't have it, Nightmare Castle, there's a given for you guys. 3 films, 1 release, 3 films. And if you like Vinegar Syndrome and you want to get something kind of really kind of sleazy, Sin for the Wharf. Sin for the Wharf's a good one. And that's a Severin film. Not this time around. This time, B Movie Archives, I'm going to be focused just on, and they got some really good releases coming out from Severin right now. So I will be getting the Mass Mutilator hopefully down the road. But right now I am looking at getting the Vinegar Syndrome releases. Like really upping my game with Vinegar Syndrome. And I don't think I got a bad collection. I got a modest collection of Vinegar Syndrome, but I think it's not bad. But I do want to get definitely get more to add into my collection. I want to really pimp it out. Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks, right on. Does anybody know anybody have any idea what those secret titles are going to be? One is going to be a horror title from Vinegar Syndrome, and one is going to be, we don't know. But it's not horror. But they said if they told us what the genre of the film is, the sale comes on the 24th, I think. It's going to be the same as Vinegar Syndrome. So you can go back and forth there. I went into just to check with some of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff that I wanted, right? Just to check to see how much they would be right now. And it was like about, I must have about like $700 worth of stuff in there. Obviously, I'm not going to get, oh, sorry, I'm not going to get that much, but I was just like kind of like playing around with different like amounts and stuff like that. But there you go, guys. With my yawning, that obviously means I am exhausted and I'm hitting the wall. So thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We had an almost 90-minute video. I hope this was a decent guide. I really did try to make a decent guide for Severin and Vinegar Syndrome to kind of give you like a balanced look at both of the companies. So I hope it helped out. We will, as the sale gets closer, we're still going to be making a lot of these videos. If you came in like expecting the movie library tour, that's not gone. You're still going to get that probably in the next one. We're going to be doing more tour. I'm going to be doing I think the next one's going to be like some of my animation stuff, and we're going to maybe even go farther from there as well, because I've only got like one shelf of animation really. But definitely stuff to look into. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate it. Again, as always, I am Aaron. This is the movie library. You guys are the movie club, and this is awesome because of you, because you guys rock. So thanks so much, guys. I will see you next time here. I got to put all these movies back, and I am so tired. Have a great evening. I'm going to finish that cold cup of tea, have some Crystal Pepsi, and gonna pass out. If you came in late, go back and check it out. There's some really cool stuff. I'm actually very proud of this list, and there's some other stuff there as well. Thanks, Dylan. Thanks all.